Right then, welcome back. As you can see, the man cave's empty, which means the Escort's off down to Hertfordshire to see Gavin Pink at the paint shop for its paint job. Been a long time coming. It's been 6 years since this garage has been empty now. The Escort's been here all that time, and it's finally on its way. So I've had a few things to busy myself with while it's away, mainly the engine, which is what this video is about. A couple of other things I'll show you around it. Even with the shell away, all the bits and bobs, all the interior and all the gubbins have had to go somewhere. So I might as well take you up the loft first. So up in the loft we've got the tank, a spare wheel, a couple of Recaro seats, all the glass, bumpers and interior trims there, pedal box, servo, fuel pumps, all the hoses, all the electrics, prop shafts there, front struts, the radiator intercooler and the road wheels. That's about it for the loft. We'll go back down, have a look at that motor. So with the motor back from Barum, they've carried out a full blueprint and rebuild of the motor. They've polished the crank, fitted new motorsport main and big end bearings, balanced the crank, balanced the conrods, balanced the pistons. They've sized the conrods. They've fitted all new ductile iron liners. They've all been machined to size. The block's been decked and then it's been machined to have the 6 long stud conversion with a multi-layer head gasket, so I can run a bit more boost in a lot more safety. It's back here now. I've refitted all the ancillaries, so let's take you around that. We start at the back. The original cast iron flywheel's been ditched and replaced with a billet steel item from Burton. So it's down from the original £11 down to about £7. That's held onto the crank with some ARP high tensile bolts. I popped a new spigot bearing in there at the same time. The most obvious thing on this side is the turbo. So it's a T34 rebuilt by AET Turbos in London. The exhaust housing is a pretty big one. It's a 0.63 exhaust housing. It's been ceramic coated, as has the centre cartridge, which has been replaced with a ball bearing centre cartridge. Again, been ceramic coated. The exhaust housing is protected with a Funk heat blanket. It's got a Turbo Smart wastegate actuator for a bit more boost, and down in the centre you can see that the inlet impeller has been replaced with a billet item with cutback blades. That's sitting on a 4x4 exhaust manifold, gives a lot more clearance in a little Mk1 Escort. It should flow plenty enough for what I want. We're probably talking around the 380 horsepower mark. The exhaust downpipe is 3-inch stainless that I've made. It's just a mock-up pipe, so I could work out where everything was going to go. I'll get that remade professionally. One of the things I had to do was I had to replumb the turbo oil drain. Standard Sierra 2-wheel drive sump has got a push on oil hose with Jubilee clips, and it goes straight up, and then the outlet from a 4x4 is over here. The two don't meet, so I plumbed it in -10 braided steel with the different fittings on. The cross member is a Rick's Motorsport World Cup cross member. It came with the engine mountings from Rick, so I just bought the crossmember and I've replaced the bushes with some from Retro Power. They should not rattle my teeth around so much, fingers crossed. The alternator is a standard Sierra 2-wheel drive Cosworth alternator, but it's mounted on an Embo Engineering billet alloy drop bracket, which pulls the alternator way down from the heat of the exhaust manifold, lowers the centre of gravity a little bit, probably won't make a lot of difference. For the heater, I've used a 2-wheel drive coolant pipe, comes out the pump. I had to cut it down and then re-swage the end because the standard one's way too long to fit in a Mk1 Escort, so that will suit my heater hoses. Just pop that back on there, keep the crap out of it. Fortunately, I was able to find a genuine Ford new old stock 2-wheel drive water pump, so that's brand new and on there. The thermostat housing is again 2-wheel drive, but I modified that. I welded a boss on so I can make a radiator fan switch. Apparently it's the best place for it. The bottom pulley is a billet aluminium job with a 36:1 degree wheel because I'm running an aftermarket ECU. I've marked all that up for top dead centre, machined off the front groove, which are used on Sierras for their hydraulic power steering. I won't be needing that, so that's been ditched. Brand new cam belt kit, Daco heavy duty belts. The pulleys are Quaife Engineering steel vernier pulleys, they're the peg type. This little gizmo on top is again from Turbo Smart. It's an oil pressure regulator. One of the things with a ball bearing turbo is they need a restricted oil feed, and that's usually done by having different size holes in this feed here. It's a bit of a guessing game as how big you go in the hole, how much you restrict the pressure. So I've taken that out, and this little gizmo regulates the pressure to 40 psi, which is optimal, irrespective of the engine revs, which you can't do just through a little restricted port alone. Over on the inlet side, it's the whole inlet system is from the small turbo Escort Cosworth, the last of the line. Don't let the small turbo bit confuse you. It's probably the best flowing out of all the original equipment inlet manifolds and plenums, and has the advantage of a much bigger Hitachi throttle body and also a standard Bosch auto speed control valve, which gets rid of the troublesome Sierra one. They're hard to find, and you can only find aftermarket ones, and they're all pretty crap, so that kills 2 birds with 1 stone. Sitting on top of that is a billet fuel rail, and that's feeding 4 Bosch 1000cc injectors. They can be modulated by the ECU to flow as much or as little as you want, so I shouldn't have to change them irrespective of the power output I'm going for. If we pop back down here around the front, the standard Sierra distributor and phase sensor is still in place. The old cap and leads have gone. I won't be needing them, so that's been replaced by a billet alloy cap. Again, that's been indexed by me in the top dead center position, just so I've got a note for reference. And the leads have gone because I'm running Denso K20 stick coils, so it's a coil on plug conversion. No more distributor leads. Made a few little brackets here to take care of the sensor wiring. We've got the crankshaft sensor down there, the phase sensor up here. Modified a standard Sierra oil outlet, so you've got your standard oil pressure switch, which is, to be fair, by the time the light comes on the damage is already done. This is an electronic pressure switch to feed an oil pressure gauge in the car, and it will also give the ECU an accurate oil pressure signal. This is the takeoff for the Turbo Smart oil pressure regulator for the turbo core. Down here we've got a G19 sump, so it's a two-wheel drive Sierra sump that's been modified by G19 engineering and fits the Escort crossmember just nice. I've added some additional ports. There's a port there for oil temperature sensor, again that'll feed the ECU some valuable information, and also an oil temperature gauge in the car. There's a port for the below oil level oil drain and another port for an above oil level oil drain. For future use, if I use a WRC type breather, at the moment I'm just using a Bailey breather, so it'll breathe from this modified port with a -10 fitting on top of the cam cover. It'll also be fed by a simple oil catcher into the side of the 200 block. Again, that'll go into the breather, and then they can drain their oil back down to the sump below oil pressure, below oil level, so there won't be any spit back from the fumes. There's your standard Sierra water temp sensor, which for the ECU. This is a manifold boost pressure sensor. I've replaced the vacuum pipe takeoffs with some push fit stainless fittings. So this one will go to the dump valve on the inlet side. This one will provide a signal to the fuel pressure regulator, and this one will provide a signal to the ECU for the manifold air pressure. Also, because I'm running servo power assistance on the Escort, there's a vacuum takeoff for the servo, which is also plumbed in the push fit style. So yeah, that's the engine build complete now. All the ancillaries are fitted, everything's been checked, tightened, checked again, and it's just going to sit there looking pretty until the body shell comes back from Gavin Pink at the paint shop, and we can install the engine and start the build of the car. Can't wait, very exciting. The paint due to be completed around mid-December, and as soon as we get it back, I'll post up a video and we can all have a look at the car. I'll see you again. Thanks for watching.